Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you guys how to make that barbecue spice that I used in the barbecue chicken video um, the past few days. So stay tuned and I will walk you through it. Okay, so I'm going to do my best. Hopefully you guys can see this okay to show you guys what I have. So to get started, what you'll need is a container to store your spice in. Like I said, I just used this container that it came in. But you know, if you obviously you're not going to have the same container, you can use a mason jar, any size. Um, and too, this recipe makes quite a bit. You know, you could scale it down to fit whatever container you have. I store all my dry spices in one of these little tiny mason jars because I buy a lot of them in bulk. But you can use, you know, any, you know, even if you have like an old yogurt container or something that has a lid, or you know, like you have a jar of salsa or something that you ate up and you have this jar, well, you can just use the jar and store your spices in there as well. So there's options, or even just reuse one of these kind of containers. So anyway, yeah, we will get started. Okay, so the spices that you're going to need are, you're going to need half a cup of chili powder, any kind. I just have this stuff from Walmart. And then, I don't think I'll have enough, but I also have this stuff I got at Aldi. So any kind of chili powder you want, you know, they have all different kinds. So whatever your favorite chili powder for making chili is, use that. You're also going to need salt. I use just pink Himalayan salt. And, but any kind of salt that you use will be just fine. Let's see, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper. This is optional, but that's what's going to kind of give it a little bit of a heat, a little bit of a kick. You don't need much, really. I'll go over that later when we get to the making of it. Turmeric, which is also optional, but it kind of helps give it that that kind of coloring and stuff that they, you know, use dyes and things in these things to give it the color. This is kind of a more natural way of getting that kind of yellow tone in the mix. So, and then also another thing to add color and flavor is paprika. Instead of like red dyes and things like that, you know, you can add a little bit more color to your spice without adding more chili powder. So I used paprika for that, and celery powder. Now this is kind of in a weird container. I make my own celery powder. It's kind of time consuming, but it works out pretty good, and I don't use it very often because most of the times I just use celery and things. But for this kind of dry spice, I dehydrate celery. I buy it when it's on sale. I dehydrate up a whole bunch of it, and then as I need it, I have this old coffee grinder that I have, and I just use it for spices only. And I grind it up pretty fine. There's still, I mean, it's not super fine, but it works for what I have. So anyway, that's like a weird bonus item that I would tell you about. That's how crazy into this stuff I get sometimes. So, and then you're going to need some measuring utensils. I have a half a cup, a teaspoon, a half a tablespoon, and a tablespoon. So, and I will go into the rest of the ingredients here. So I'm going to use this container. If you have a funnel, that is better. I don't have a funnel. I'm not even sure what happened to it, but the canning funnel I have is a little too wide for this container, so I'm just going to spoon it in here the best that I can. So you could also mix it in a separate bowl and then kind of spoon it in whatever little container you have also. That works too. But I'm just going to work out of this because it just saves me a dish I have to wash later. So let me grab a spoon and we'll get started. Okay, I'm really hoping you can see this. I had to flip my phone around to get a closer view, but no, I don't have a monitor, so we're going to go through this and see what happens. Okay, so to this container, I'm going to add a half cup of chili powder. So I got my little chili powder thing here. I'm gonna dump it in my measuring cup, make sure I have enough. And be careful when you're doing this too, because this stuff can kind of cloud up. And, you know, especially with that cayenne pepper, you don't want that stuff in your eyes. You don't want to breathe it in too much, so just, you know, use some caution. So this is a new one, so I'm just going to open this up here. Should have done that off camera, I apologize. And so, just want to get a half a cup in here. Best you can. Doesn't have to be exact, just, you know, more or less a half a cup. So, probably hear my cat in the background. He's being super sassy today. I don't know why. But he is being very sassy. So, oops. Alright, so that's about a half a cup there. And add that to my container. Like I said, I'm going to spoon this in because I don't have a funnel, but it's way easier with a funnel. 100% easier with the funnel. But this spoon works too. This is a wider mouth thing, so. And like I said, you know, if you're using a mason jar and you have a canning funnel, that would be perfect. But like I said, the canning funnel was just a little too wide for that. So just kind of scooping her in there. Set that aside. I don't need that. That's the biggest amount of ingredient is the chili powder. So next you're going to add salt. Oh geez, this thing doesn't want to stay in focus. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can zoom out here. Hold on. That might be a little better. Okay, we'll try that. Sorry if you couldn't see any of that. I'm going to do my best to fix that. Okay, so next thing is salt. And another thing too that I didn't tell you before is that if you have, like, say, onion salt, garlic salt, onion salt, celery salt, I think I already said onion salt, celery salt, and you have those instead of just powder versions. I know a lot of people just have garlic salt in their pantry and stuff like that. You could totally use that. You know, when I get to the garlic powder and all you have is garlic salt, use that. Just omit the salt. Because, you know, you don't want it too salty. Because a lot of these spices will kind of just... The salt is just to enhance the flavors, you know, when you go to put it on your food. So, it's best not to overdo it. Alright, so like I said, the next ingredient is salt. I'm going to use a half a tablespoon. I have written down a tablespoon, but I think last time it was a little saltier than I would like it. But you could certainly use a full tablespoon. So I'm going to use a half a tablespoon of salt. Put that right in there. Half tablespoon of onion powder. One tablespoon garlic powder. Just two of these. This is a half tablespoon, so I'll double up. 1, 2. 1 tablespoon of celery powder. There's that there. Half tablespoon of turmeric. You can even go as little as a teaspoon on that, I think would be plenty, but I'm going to go with a half tablespoon. Because I like turmeric. It's a good spice to have. A tablespoon of paprika. Let's see here. Okay, a little bit more there. Here we go. And let's see what else do I have here. And the cayenne pepper. I use a teaspoon. Mine's kind of old, so you know, when you think it's like spread out and all this other stuff too, so it's not bad. I'm gonna use this stuff up. And that's it. And you put the lid on whatever container. If you're using a container, just put the lid on and give it a good shake. Shake, 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 shake. You see I'm shaking it there. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Just trying to get all those ingredients incorporated in there together, nice and all that. Alright, and then I'll give that a second and I'll do a little taste test. See how well it worked. Okay, so you can see it made a good amount there. You can see that okay there. So I'm going to take the spoon here and I'm just going to get a little bit out of there, just a smidge. Yeah, just like the tiniest amount. I don't need a lot. And I'm going to taste it and see if it needs more salt or anything like that. No, that's perfect. Alright, cool. Like I said, make this your own spice. Just personalize it, however you like. Like I said, switch up the chili peppers. If you have like a chipotle chili spice, that would be really good in here. Give it a nice smoky flavor. Or a smoked paprika even. You just kind of want to do it up here. But, I just basically read the ingredients on the back of this and figured out my ratios. It's nice because, I don't have the silicon dioxide, whatever that is. The yellow number 5 and the red number 40 lake. All those things that, artificial things that you don't really need to be putting in your body. Now you have this delicious spice that is natural and all that, and it is delicious. So I encourage you guys to give this a try on your, this is good on chicken. I've made it on ribs before I've used it. I used it on pork chops one time, I think, and yeah, so basically anything you would just put, anything you'd want to barbecue, just use this spice as a base and makes a good dry rub and seasoning in that way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful and helpful, and I hope you give this a try and let me know in the comments below if you try it, how you like it, what you added or what kind of things you changed. And yeah, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.